Welcome in the Pastime Picks Podcast. I am Keith, Vintage Sport Flips.
I'm Andy. Damn, I'm a king of pennants. I can never get it.
Just gonna give up at this point. We try sideways.
Yeah.
But guys, tonight we're gonna be drafting the best outfielders of all time based on era through the years. So we'll draft one from each era, and we have a special guest this week. Our special guest is Mark Hoyle. Gonna bring Mark to the stage right here. Welcome in, Mark.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. I know Mark's always here every week in the chat, so definitely wanted to bring him on because I could tell just by his success in our sales guessing, he's very knowledgeable.
After you win 5 times, you automatically get an invite, I think, right?
All right. Yeah, I like that idea.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really much of a prize, though. It's not. It's a consolation gift, really.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. So we're doing drafting 5 outfielders each, one from the dead ball era, one from the 1920s to 1940s.
Three outfielders each, right? From 5 different eras. Isn't that?
Yeah. What'd I say?
5 outfielders. I'm not prepared for that.
No, 5 outfielders each, one from each era. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because some of the eras are there's a ton of huge names. Others, it's a little bit tighter. So it'll be interesting and some strategy, right? If you have if the 2 guys from the one era go early, you can wait on that last guy a little bit.
Definitely.
So yeah,
that's my only chance I think that I have is in winning this. It's not going to be based on knowledge of teams or anything. It's going to be based on strategic methods.
Yeah. Well, Andy, I don't think your strategic plans worked last week because you did fail last week again. I mean, we're pretty tight though on the.
I'm on a bit of a slide. Yeah, I want you to feel a little better about yourself, I think.
So you're 9-8-4. I'm 8-9-4. So we're almost neck and neck here. I expect it'll be even up. I mean, Mark is probably going to win the vote this week. So we're battling for second. But
I'll take it. I'll take second.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where I get picked here, where I get drafted in this.
That's true. Yeah, that's
true. This probably is one of the more important kind of.
That is key.
Yeah, for sure. So all right, so let me on that note. So we do have a giveaway this week. Andy, during the sales of the week category. Andy, you want to show your Enos Cabell signed ball there?
Signed Enos Cabell.
So it's a 1984 partial Astros ball.
My knuckler right there.
Cabell, Ray Knight, and I think it's Mike Madden. I forget who the other guy is on there, but there it is. I'll block Andy out there. So given that that was in our garage by just a random signed ball, so I figured somebody might like that. What's up, Dan? Welcome in, man.
What up, Dan?
Andy? By the way, the reseller reseller leftovers. They discussed a potential name change on their podcast today. Okay. They were talking about the I'm gonna tell you blank. The what do you call it when women are abducted for slave trade? What is that phrase? Blanking on it. That's not necessarily women.
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Totally blanking. I had to move on because I totally blanked on the name they were talking about. But it was Dan was worried about being abducted.
Oh, right.
Human trafficking. That's it. Sorry, Dan. I totally botched that. So they were going to call it the Human Trafficking Podcast.
I think that's a horrible name.
Not a great name. Very tongue in cheek, but I figured I'd bring it. But I botched that pretty badly.
I think you're going to be put on several do not fly lists and FBI lists if you put that up there. Pretty sure. So let me figure out. You have to start each guy no, just kidding. This is not really human trafficking. You have to do a lot of things up there. All right. Man.
All right. So this is an important. What's up, Beatty? How's it going? Important drawing here to see who goes first. So we got the 3 of us on the wheel.
Yeah.
We spin that to see who goes first. Then we'll spin it one more time.
You got a whole line of them we could do. All right. Well, there you go.
There we go.
Our guest gets the first pick. So there we go. Can you? Yeah, there you go. Remove.
Yeah. The last time Go Snow had it 5 times in a row. Let's do it again. So who goes second?
I'm glad you upped your understanding of the wheel now. All right.
I like how you displayed us on that baseball card.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I I think on that card, you were Hank Aaron.
That was Hank. Yeah, I could tell. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was Dick Allen. I got the. Yeah. I mean, Dick was a Hall of Famer, but not on the par of the other two guys.
Was I a manager or something? I figured like that's what you would have made me, right?
If I had that option, but no, I was I was in 67
or a bat.
I forget what year that was. What's up, Jimmy? Old school flips, part of the reseller leftovers too, Andy.
Okay, soon to be human trafficking.
Yeah. Now there was another name. I'm totally blanking on it. It was Human Trafficking Something Podcast, and maybe they'll. It was Jimmy's idea, so maybe he'll tell us in the chat what it was. But man, angry at myself for forgetting that. All right, so yeah, so Mark's going to go first. And by the way, Mark does have a YouTube channel. Mark was talking about that earlier. So if anybody wants to subscribe to Mark's channel, I'll pop it in the chat here. Mark, I know you said you don't have videos up yet, but your plan is to. Yeah. So let me. I'm going to pull that up and I'll put that in the chat.
On a bunch of guys' other channels, there's a ton of card content out there.
Yeah.
I'm busy this week.
Yeah. So what was the name? I watched it, but is it Four Collectors that you're on with the
Four Collectors? Yeah, they're pretty good. They're a bunch of young guys that collect all vintage cards.
Oh, cool.
And they have they pick one player and you just do year by year, one card from each year or something. You know,
that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So he was showing a Yaz card from every year. And like some of them were like very oddball cards, like, pretty rare stuff. So pretty cool
awesome.
premise.
No flagship cards, all rare stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So I'm going to lead off with a guy that, if you look at a WAR stat, he's unbelievably high for an all-time WAR in baseball, and he's a hometown favorite. It's probably arguably one of the top 3 dead ball players, any position. I'm going to go with Tris Speaker.
Ooh, he's on my list. Yeah, I'm glad. All right, I'm glad I had him on my list. Yeah, that's awesome though. He's got. Yeah. This is not fair. If he's bringing card like.
Is that a silk there, Mark?
What's that?
Is that a silk?
That's a silk. Yeah.
Okay. I forget the name.
1909 silk.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I mean, 345 average, regardless of position for his era.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he was probably.
Yeah, I won't name the other two because one of them is probably going to get picked.
Yeah, he probably would have been. I mean, he was like traded not long after Ruth, right? From Boston to the Indians.
He lasted till about. He ended up going to the Indians.
Yeah,
he lasted till about 15.
Okay. Yeah, so I was wondering. So they were probably just selling stars off at that point for a couple of years, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, amazing hitter for that.
Great fielder, a lot of stolen bases, a lot of speed.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
great pick. I have him on my. I'm just impressed that I had him on my list.
You appreciate the number 1 overall pick on your list. That's pretty good. It's a good start for you.
It's good to tell you how I'm going to do here. I think. All right. This is where I have to go. This is how the only way I'm going to be able to win is to be very strategic and being able to pick a player, because I think everybody else is going to have better, stats, not stats, but I'm going to say they have a better understanding of players. So, but there's one, I think, time that's really bad, not bad, but it's like some of the best players are not there, put it that way. And that's the 70s to 80s. 70 days, right? So we have
70s to 80s. You're right.
Okay. 70s to 80s. So that is a tough time, I feel like, for in terms of outfielders that were very good. So I'm going to take I know it seems weird, but my number 2 pick overall will be the best player I feel like from that era, and that's Reggie Jackson. So he, Mr. October, 563 home runs, 262 average, not great. I mean, compared to some of the, dead ball players and stuff like that. But I do feel like there's some dead ball players that you can choose from. I just think that's my worst position there.
Some are deeper than others for sure. And also, one thing you left out about Reggie Jackson, Andy, he has the all-time record in strikeouts as well.
There you go.
So there we go. It's a good.
He also had some great shades back in the day too.
Yeah. The other thing too, and I forgot to mention with Tris Speaker, I was shocked when I read this that he's the all-time doubles leader, which is crazy. I mean, his last year was 1928, and that record's held up for almost a century, right? That's an insane record. All right. I didn't expect that one, Andy. It's a surprise. It's a I like it. The strategy going to a weaker time period for sure.
That one's done. I've got out of there, so I feel good about that.
I had them on one list.
Yeah, me too. What's up, Sean? How's it going, man? Oh, nice to hop in from the game. Definitely timely for us doing a baseball draft. All right. I got to go with this guy, even though this is a deeper time period.
I know you're going to go.
The fact that I'm taking a number 3 overall.
Yeah, I got it.
You have to go with Babe Ruth, the number 1 WAR guy. I mean, his WAR is like what 161, I think, or I mean the highest WAR. There's a couple guys close, but I mean, I probably would wanted to take someone else in this spot, but I can't leave Babe Ruth to the second round, right? So
off as I go, yeah.
That is the deepest era for sure.
Oh, definitely. That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Babe there too. I admittedly, there's that has 2 or 3 more players that are maybe not the same quality as Babe, but
there's definitely. I mean, when I was making that 20 to the 40s list, I mean, the top 2 were for me set, but the last guy, there's like 3 or 4 guys that could have went in that spot. So
easily,
yeah. But I definitely think there's a step down after the top 2 or top 1. So, all right. So there we go. Round 1. And let me get to the first segment here, the sales of the week segment.
Sale of the week.
All right. So in this segment, me and Andy and Mark, I don't think you're a reseller at all, right? I think you're just a collector. So
occasionally I'm but I'm not.
The trade stuff for your to build your collection. Yeah. So me and Andy are going to show some of our sales of the week and then have each other and the chat guess along with us. The third item, we're going to do a giveaway, which we'll show again in a moment. So let me show my first piece here. This is a rarity for this is a piece that I didn't sell myself. I consigned to an auction house. But Andy, you might remember this. This is like one of my favorite yard sale pickups I've ever made. But it's this guy right here. Do you remember I talked about this? Remember I showed this?
Yeah.
So this is a 15-foot banner that from 82, 83, the Sixers when they won the NBA championship. And I have this photo that you can see in that upper right corner. That banner's hanging in the Spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
Same banner. So I consigned this to an auction house. I consigned it to Hunt Auctions, one of the better auction houses. They happen to be close to me. So I consigned it to them and it just sold, I think last Thursday or last Wednesday. So
was it in an auction or was it just kind of in there?
No, it was an auction.
Okay.
It was like a live auction, but you can bid online. You can bid a number of different ways.
That's cool. I'm surprised you'd want to keep that. I don't know if you have a lot of space, but
I kept it for a while. It's 15 feet long. So that's a dedication of wall space. And
yeah, that's true.
As I was talking about with Mark in the backstage before the show, I have a large basement space for my Eagles collection that my wife lets me have, but I don't know if I would have popped this in our living room, if that would have flew too well. So
probably not.
Yeah.
Wrap it around. It's our new wallpaper, honey.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fly here.
Yeah. But yeah, Dan, that is Mo Cheeks. That is Mo Cheeks in that image. Good eye.
There you go. I don't know, Mark. This is a tough one for me because I feel like he's not going to consign this thing unless it's going to go for a fair amount of money, right? I guess also the other issue I think with this probably is just the shipping, right? I'm assuming I don't know how you would ship it. I don't know if
shipping would be hard. It folds pretty easily.
It could roll up. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how delicate it was. I don't know. I mean, I think that's probably pretty expensive, honestly, and especially because you probably did the research behind it and put up that you saw,
I gave him that photograph. Yeah. And actually, the other thing I should mention, it is signed too. It's signed by like a lot of the players, Dr. J. I forget who was all signed. It's sort of the signatures have faded a bit. They're actually on that player on the right side. That's where he signed them.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I remember this video when you bought it.
Oh yeah. It was funny. He didn't want to sell it initially, and I just threw an offer out, and but it was on display in his garage.
Did you say what you bought it for? In the show?
Yeah, I did. I paid $500 for this and another one.
Okay.
A smaller one.
Okay. Well, Mark, it's up to you. I can go first, or you can go first. Whatever you'd like to do. If you want to join in on the fun,
I'm gonna go. I'll shoot her $2,200 and then 99 cents.
Yeah, that's right. It's probably
Although
this is through the auction, I guess, so maybe they follow the same protocol that Keith does, but
a pretty limited clientele that would want this.
It is, for sure. Yeah, and plus someone who has the space, right? That's Dan's at 3K, BD's at
$22.99, right? Is that what it was? 22? Do you have the? I feel like if somebody, it'd be tough to get in a huge bidding auction on this. I feel like just because I don't know how many people would really be like fighting back and forth, but I think Mark's right. It's over $2,000. I think it's probably under 3,000. So I'm going to go. That's what Dan's saying, between 700 and
that was his two guesses. Yeah,
nice range there. I'm going to go. I'm going to say like 28.50.
28.50.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So a lot of good guesses. And the one thing I will say, this price doesn't include either my buyer's premium or the seller's premium. So it's just what it's sold for.
What the card said or what they said
on the hammer.
Yeah. Yep. So let me get to that. It's gonna be at the bottom.
Whoa.
Yeah. Nice one. Nice. But Dan's range has actually nailed the estimate. The estimate was 1 to 3.
Damn.
Dan's range is like, I mean, he should work for Hunts. It's pretty good.
Killer.
Yeah, so you probably would have been happy with the estimated range.
I would have, yeah. I mean, I would have liked to have it at the National, but again, even having it at the National, you couldn't really display it that great, right? So, I was happy to get that price, no doubt. And there's still another one that I got with it that's signed. It's smaller. I can sign that too. I don't think that one met the reserve. I didn't even hear back from him yet about it, but
that's a 12x
wow
price change. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
Happy with that for sure.
Well, I mean, we're going to be in the same genre. We're going to be in the same range with what I have from my.
Okay. All right. So I get my guesses ready.
So let me just.
I think it also helped that sale that it sold like the day before the Sixers got knocked out of the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there was a little bit of a hype because they had that big win, a big comeback the game before.
All right.
A little Space Jam action.
Yeah.
All right.
1996 Space Jam. This is new in the box, but it's like complete. It had I don't know if it didn't have really plastic around it, but it had the original styrofoam, all that stuff.
Yeah, packing materials.
The person that ended up buying it had a lot of questions about it. It's like, how's the box? How's all this stuff? Are there any cracks? It's like, the thing has not been taken out of the box. The box looks pristine.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, I guess, that he could actually keep hold of and keep safe.
Yeah. Dan, I was thinking of you when he was talking about those questions, and I know what you would have done. You would have blocked them right after those questions. Because that is a problem waiting to happen. But you
didn't even give me my failure.
Hold on. Let's do that.
No, it's out now.
All right. Well, yeah, that's fine. There'll be enough failures ahead. Can't believe it. What's wrong with me?
I know.
All right, $40 from Dan.
Okay.
That's a pretty good guess. I've never seen this thing before. And Space Jam some Space Jam stuff is very common and doesn't bring a ton. Other stuff does bring a lot. The guy, without many questions, I'm going to go $54. No change. 54 even.
Okay.
I'll go 49.
Okay.
And Dan says, "Oh yeah, I would have taken him to Blocktown."
What?
He said he would have taken him to Blocktown. A lot of questions automatically block.
I didn't know. I thought you were talking about the bank still, but
I know.
Okay.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
There we go.
All right. It's a strong sale.
We had it up for, I want to say we had it up for 89, actually. There was a couple up there that sold well. So
I wonder if there's more of them in there. There might be more in the garage. I mean,
I didn't see more of this one.
In bulk.
Okay. I didn't see more of this one, but there certainly could have been. But
all right, cool.
Fortunately, that is a loss for you, though, Keith. Okay.
All right. I owe you a lost video.
You double up on me. Is this so? Is this for the ball? Or
this one I'm going to show right now is for the giveaway. Yeah.
Okay. And
let me.
Are you giving away the card too, or is not?
I'll send the card. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I don't think.
Because sometimes you have these little cases where you can display the card with a signed ball.
That's true.
And why is that so zoomed? Let me unzoom that. Give me 1 second. Where's that?
I feel like you're putting up different stuff now. But
yeah. So this is a 1980s dead stock with tags, Chicago Blackhawks CCM hockey jersey. Still tags. Very reminiscent of Chevy Chase, right? In
oh yeah.
National Lampoons.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Dan's a Blackhawks fan, I guess.
Yeah.
A classic jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I remember CCM was the official. I mean, it's changed. I think probably 3 or 4 times now in terms of who makes the jerseys now, the official jerseys.
Yeah, they were official. This was a high quality jersey. It has a fight strap. Obviously, it's not game used or anything. It's just a retail jersey, but vintage hockey jerseys can be pretty good, especially when they're dead stock like this.
Yeah, and it's got no names or anything on it, right? It's not personalized. Okay.
Yeah, blank backed.
I wonder if you can actually get that personalized, or if you do.
Probably. Yeah, I mean,
it'd have to be like what, Chris Chelios or somebody from back in the day.
Yeah, remember back then you used to have to get any hockey jersey. You had to take and give the name you wanted to pick your number. You couldn't buy a retail jersey for any player.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. We have a ton of people that are guessing, so this might be a fight between Mark and Dan.
Yeah, here's for the giveaway. The Enos Cabell. I'm sorry, Enos. I automatically call him Enos Cabell signed baseball, and I'll send that card along with it.
And the baseball. The Dan said 149. Mark, you want to go? I don't want to sway your opinion one way or the other. Probably
I
the wrong way.
don't know this at all. I'm going to go 159.
Okay. Interesting. I think it's a little more, just because I feel like the jerseys now are $300 each, right? At least. They're over 300 for football, and I think hockey is probably similar. Baseball is a couple hundred too. So I bet, because you have the tags and everything, and it's kind of a retro style jerseys, probably not great that you don't have a player on the back or it's personalized, but I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go 350 on this. 349.99, I should say, actually.
Okay. Let me do a quick calculation here.
Oh yeah, that means I'm close, baby.
Be close.
He has to break out the calculator. You can't count on it. It must have been close.
I must say, I just said calculate, so give me time to find a good loser video.
Oh,
I wasn't really calculating.
Oh,
you were somewhat close. It was pretty, 249.99.
Right.
So you weren't
the difference between us.
Yeah. It was a good one. I was happy with that sale.
Yeah. How long was that up for a while or no?
No, it was up for a few days. Yeah.
Very cool.
But I think that was Mark. I think Mark is the winner on that one. I believe, right? There we go.
And you knew who it was, and so that's coming to you. You're probably going to throw it out the window, or use it to play actual baseball with. That might be
gotta find room for it.
All right, let me bring the draft board back up here.
All right. So we should clarify too. Are we? I don't think we want a player that just got into the certain time frame, or you know what I mean? I
don't know what you mean.
Well,
if a guy played from 50 to 73, you're going to put him in the 70 to 80s. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think I don't know. Or can they be in multiple ones too that you can choose from? So say you're played 1945 to 1955. What
Is there anyone? I don't think there's anyone on my list who was like that. But
There's
that's a tough one.
I get a couple. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there's a couple like it. So I personally think, I don't know, we can.
You can choose. I guess you can use.
I would say you can probably pick whatever one you want, or if you play, it's not like if he played 1 year in a certain era, then maybe we can discuss that. But I think okay, as long as he played some years. I just wanted to clarify that. I don't think any of our players really were of that yet.
No, I agree for sure.
All right.
All right. So this is a tough one here. So there's two players I like. Let me just go back to my list real fast. Is it me, Andy? To clear?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
People are gonna. The good thing is he doesn't show you what order we pick them in. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go the 50s to 60s era. This was tough. I was between two guys. This is a little bit of a deeper time as well, but again, the original 5-tool player. I'm gonna go Willie Mays.
Yeah.
I mean, very high. His WAR, I think, was only behind Ruth. I think his WAR was 5. Ruth was 1. Or maybe there was one other guy a little bit higher than him, one other player. But I mean, you could do everything great. Mark, you tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe the best defensive outfielder. Those other guys were close.
Definitely. He might be the all-time best player, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel like when we did this 1 year, that was my first overall pick, right? Didn't we do? We made a full team, right?
You did a whole team.
Yeah. That was a fun one too.
Yeah, I mean, he over 500 home runs and arguably the best defensive player of all time. Yeah, that's hard to beat. Okay,
super long career, and he still had a great. I mean, a lot of these guys when they play a super long time, their average comes down late in the career. Still a 301 average, 660 home runs.
Mays played like into the 70s, right? Didn't he?
73.
They both did. Yeah. Mays. Yep.
52.
Crazy. All right. Good pick. I'm going to.
You mean to put that board back up for you?
No, I know where I'm going.
Okay.
I'm not a dead ball. This is probably leaving somebody if Mark goes with hometown favorites. It may be leaving him somebody that he likes, but I'm going to go with. Again, I'm not a big dead ball guy. You guys probably had a much better advantage in that with Tris Speaker. He was second on my list for this dead ball area, but first player would be Ty Cobb. So Ty Cobb, was it 400 average? So, yeah, I mean, also it doesn't hurt that he's a Detroit Tiger for a good portion of his career. So, I was a little worried. I don't know. I'm not sure who you take. Maybe you're going to pull somebody out. I'm sure.
No, that's I almost took Cobb over Mays there. That was who I was going between because there are more options with Mays' era than there's a huge drop off after Speaker and Cobb for sure.
There's a lot of dead ball era players that were incredible, but I don't think there was a ton of dead ball outfielders or dead ball era outfielders that were.
There's a drop off.
Yeah. No, that's a good pick. Yeah.
I'm glad you left this guy on the table for me.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I felt like that had to be the next one for you. But that was part of my question too. Like, what era does he fall into? Like, I mean, you can put whatever you want, I think, right? Because he was in
39 to 61.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
He fits in a couple spots, really.
Yeah.
So I'll put him in. What's 40 to 60? Is that one of them?
It's now it's 20s to 40s or 50s to 60s.
I'll go 50s to 60s. He's my guy.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and I wonder, his stats are great, but he lost like 3 of his prime years to the war, right? So that would have been even better stats if he had.
He lost over 3 really. He did World War II and Korean War. Yeah.
Probably one of the nicest looking swings, right? A lot of players are still modeled after his swing. No, it's great. It's a great pick. I mean, that's what I alluded to. That was kind of my.
I thought you were going there. I'm glad you didn't.
Well, I don't want to.
Oh, it froze. It's the first time for Andy. Interesting, Mark. While he's Let's see if they can remove them, put them back in. You all right over
What's
there,
going
Andy?
on?
You froze for a second. You're good now.
Yeah, something's going on with my computer. But
okay, you're okay now.
Updating. Okay. Yeah, it went black for a little bit. I could hear you guys. Maybe you couldn't hear me, but that was a little weird for a second.
Mark, I became sort of friendly with the family of Ted Williams' agent, Fred Corcoran. Yep. He's also Mutual's agent. And I bought a bunch of stuff from them. And one piece was a letter from Hank Greenberg to Ted Williams saying that, like, it was right during the time that he was went to Korea for the Korean War. And it was like, I can't believe they did this to you again. You already did your time. It was an amazing letter.
Yeah. Greenberg went in the war too, right? Greenberg was.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Williams was arguably the best hitter. He was an unbelievable fighter pilot, and he was a world-class fly fisherman. You know, arguably the best at three things in the world.
And a business. I mean, he sold all kind of sporting goods, right? Great businessman. Yeah.
I've been at a show before when somebody brought in a Ted Williams motor from Sears because his name was on it.
Yeah.
And it didn't last 10 minutes. It got bought right away, an outboard motor.
Oh yeah, I bought that kind of stuff where there was I bought a collection that had like Ted Williams bullets and all kind of like Ted Williams
I have
stuff.
Those up on the shelf. I got bullets.
Oh, yeah.
Here's something you don't have probably. Is this a little kids on this show? Where are we at?
Oh wow. Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't have that for sure.
It's empty too, so
Oh. Well, that's a shame.
Gotta know if they sell better. Well, at least it's not game used.
Yeah. All right. Let's pull up a segment here. We're that's second round complete, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do a little finds of the week.
Find of the week.
All right, Andy. So my find of the week, I bought this at a flea market last Thursday, and I'm sure Mark knows a lot more about these than me, but this is called an exhibit card.
Yeah.
These were issued in like, I guess like what you call them, like gumball machines, or like they were like coin operated machines. You put
arcade.
A coin in, they would come out. Arcade machines. Yeah.
Yeah. On marks. Yeah.
Yep. So you see them a lot more with like boxers, baseball players. The basketball ones are a lot rarer. This is Joe Fulks. You know his nickname, Andy? Joe Fulks, Philadelphia Warriors.
Joker. I don't know. No.
Jumping Joe Fulks.
I should have thought that.
It's pretty close. But yeah, so the basketball ones are great, but I know Mark showed a rare Yastrzemski one in the video that I saw today.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of exhibits, I'm sure too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You can date those by the way the wording is on the bottom.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I saw this one dated 48 to 49, but I know I sold some of I sold a mantle for a lot of money before. It was just a particular year of a mantle. So
those were the baseball ones were 47 to 66. And there's a different range, but you can date them by how the lettering is on the bottom.
Oh, cool. That's good to know. Yeah.
I can send you a.
Yeah, for sure. Because I have a stack of boxing ones and baseball ones that a lot of the baseball ones I have are rough condition, but it's nicer to sell.
How did these come out? How did they come out? Like in like a rolled up or something, or were they kind of just
in a machine
paper?
Flat? They would come out. You would put a quarter in, pull the drawer out. It would come out flat.
I went into an antique store in Providence, and they had an exhibit machine in there for sale.
Oh, very cool.
I would have got killed if I brought that home.
Yeah, that's a space occupier. What's up, TJ? How's it going, man? And Dan, I'm not sure what you're referencing. Are you talking about the find of the week, or the find of the week is a little Jumpin' Joe Fulks exhibit card. It's like a postcard sized basketball card. Philadelphia Warriors.
Okay. All right. So this is we're not guessing the price on this. We're guessing.
No.
What did you pay for it? So for future reference.
Paid $30.
Okay.
It's probably, I'll put it up for like 125. That's there's like higher comps, but there's one signed, there's one graded. So
basketballs are tough. You don't see those all the time.
No. The guy had a Mikan too. Mikan's like probably the best one in the basketball set, but it was like $300 for that one. Didn't really see it, and there was some flaws.
I have the Beatles ones, 4 Beatles.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
Dan, I think he held up a Champs prophylactic Ted Williams piece. Yeah, that might be. That's what he was talking about. Yeah.
Game used Ted Williams condoms is what they were.
Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah. I mean, that's. So, did you say what you thought you might be able to get for it, or you?
I did. Yeah, I'd say like 125, maybe 129.99.
How often do you see those out and about in the wild?
You see exhibit cards a lot, not basketball. Some of the more obscure sports you don't see too much. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And cool. I don't think you had a find, you said, right? But I think Mark does.
I did. Although I can show something. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Keith, you've probably seen these.
Yeah, for sure. The bottle openers, right? Yeah, those are awesome. Yeah.
I think they date 68 to 70, something like that.
I think that's right. Yeah. I know they make, like, I think I have well, you can't see it on my angle here, but I have a Cleveland Browns one, the same company. I think it's Scott Products, usually on the bottom. But yeah, the hockey skate ones are the best for sure. Those are
the most expensive, right? Those are the hardest, or the
they bring good money.
I had two. These are newer. The Molson bottle opener.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With the Bruins.
Those are cool. With a
nice.
Actually a stick. That's awesome.
There we go.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Those are from the 90s, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Did you collect Bruins as well?
Yeah, some. No, I don't go crazy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's a very cool piece. Yeah, we sold some of them from our big buy that we made. A Flyers one, maybe St. Louis Blues. So they're cool for sure.
It's a dangerous path to go. I'm afraid that I'm going to the more you guys show stuff and all this stuff that Mark has in the back. I didn't even know that you could buy that stuff before you know it. I'll have to upgrade my Detroit stuff a little better.
I sent the link for the Detroit Lions pin. You could go buy that.
Yeah, I did show that to him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And TJ, I just was talking about that connection that TJ bought a Topps letterhead from Cy Berger to Ted Williams' agent. So there's very cool documents in that buy. He was also Sam Snead's agent. So there's a lot of Sam Snead stuff.
Golfer? Is that his, right?
Yeah, Walter Haig.
What's up, TJ? TJ just started his own little channel too. You guys got to check it out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, for sure. Definitely check. Is it TJ's Online? Is that his channel name?
I think so. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Sure, man. Very cool. All right, Andy. So it's Mark. It's back to Mark. Yeah, back to Mark.
On the flip.
Let me bring out the board here.
See what I have.
So let's see. Yeah, we got to see where we're at. We got to some strategery involved now. All right. Well, 50s and 60s are wide open apparently for me. But
so what do I have? 70s through 80s. Oof.
Well, you got dead ball. Yeah. You got some.
I'm gonna go. Did I use the 40 through 60s? No, 20s through 40s. All right. I'm gonna go. 70s through 80s. It's getting tricky here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 70 through 89. I'm gonna go with Ricky Henderson.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's where it starts to fall off. I feel like those two.
It's kind of a
maybe Ricky's better than Reggie too, but that's good.
That squeeze. I can't use. Well, I won't even name him because somebody else will. But I can't use him anyway now. I blocked him out.
Yeah, I mean his numbers are insane, and the fact that obviously the stolen base leader and all-time run leader, and did have power too. I mean, he didn't have not 500 home runs or anything.
He was hitting 20 home runs. He was doing that on occasion. I feel like yeah. He had more pop than people. I mean, he's just all around incredible athlete. I think.
Oh yeah, and a running back, right? He was a running back at like UCLA or I forget. He was a football player somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Was he a good fielder? I don't remember that. I assume he was, right? But I don't know if he would. I mean, he's no Mays or something, but
he played for a lot, so he was decent.
Yeah. Okay. I remember him. I don't remember him being.
I just threw Mark's channel in the chat too for anyone who wants to check out Mark's channel. And TJ, if you want to throw your channel link in the chat as well, I'll try to do it myself if I can search for it.
If he can figure it out. Okay. I don't. Can you pull up the screen again, Keith?
Yep.
On the upside?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I kind of thought he played a little center field too. All right. So I got 20s, 50s. But I'm good with the 50. Okay. It's got to do a little bit of thinking here. I guess I'm going to go with the latter, the latest one now, trying to figure out. I mean, if the 90s were known for one thing, right? I mean, that was steroids. So I feel like even if I take the best steroid player, I mean, I guess unless you go to the kind of nowadays or where it's a little bit easier, but I'm going to go with Barry Bonds as my number one there. He's just hard to beat. His numbers are insane. Obviously he was juiced beyond all recognition, but I think this is the second time I've taken Bonds in this thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to, I mean, there are other players there, but it's hard to say no to him.
And if you're a WAR fan or you're using WAR as any kind of decision making, he was the only guy above Mays, right? It was Ruth. Yeah. He was number 4, I think, after a couple pitchers. So
yeah, I would have picked.
I would have taken him there too. I mean, you don't feel good about it,
right?
But I mean, home run leader. I mean, led the league in walks as well, and so you got the walk leader and the strikeout leader in your squad. You got
and the home run leader with an asterisk.
yeah.
I mean, he hit like 370 one year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were saying he had like the fastest hands, right? And I mean, I'm sure there were people, but I mean, that was what he was kind of known. He's like the way he got through the zone.
He choked up too.
He was so strong too. Yeah, I mean, he would. Yeah, you're right. He was like almost a couple inches up, and he would still had that swing was just so powerful and so compact that he would just launch him. Yeah. I mean, it didn't hurt that he was like you said, he went from. He was probably 180 and 86. And he was probably 210 or 220, when he hit those home runs. So, yeah.
And like 40, you said, a lot of the players in that era were in the same situation, right? I mean,
Sosa, if you go 2000s or later or something, you're probably okay. I mean, not okay, but you're not bringing those guys in. But
yeah, for sure. Yep.
I think the other thing too, like the longevity of the career matters too. I mean, like some of these guys, like you said, Mays, some of these guys have played for, 20 years or something like that. I feel like that's matters more than you have one guy that, is incredible for, 3 or 4 years or something. So,
yeah, that's true. But, all right. So that's the second player you've taken that I would have taken. So I'm not happy with Andy stealing some of my thunder.
This is this is what I love to do. It's just ruin his day.
But there's only one spot that there's 2 spots that you guys have already taken a player from those spots. So I can wait a little bit on them. So I'm going to go with the modern, the 90s to current. And this is a little trickier. It's a little deeper. But some of the modern guys who are still playing, I mean, but I'm going to go with a guy, long career, injury riddle a little bit towards late in his career, but I'm going to go Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. He was number 2 on my list, so that was I think I like that. Yeah,
okay,
I got
go.
There you go.
You were ready to go.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
I mean, I like Griffey and Mays patrolling my outfield there.
It's pretty strong. Although they both play center field, so you have to figure that out.
I'm sure they can figure it out.
Okay, yeah, that's a good pick, I think. Yeah, I mean, you still got. I mean, there's a lot of. I think you're right. Like that era is really large. I mean, we made it 90 to 40, almost 40 years. So
yeah. And I mean, ideally, I would have split these things up differently, but I wanted to keep it to 5 draft spots. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, let's get to a segment here. All right. So in this segment, we generally take a deep dive into some sort of memorabilia. And this week, it's a little more of a card-ish memorabilia. I guess it is more of a card in general. But so Andy, this is Mark, I know Mark knows this already, but this is what's called a Topps test issue. It's a 1967 Topps test sticker. Roberto Clemente.
Oh, okay, nice.
And Andy, what do you know what a test issue means?
Is that what the? I mean, they do like test cards now, right? Or is that like where it's like a proof, like a proof or something of like the what the card will look like, but it's not like the full card.
Sort of. I mean, sort of. I know they do that currently, but this would be like something that Topps would make these in like a limited run. They only produced Pittsburgh Pirates and Boston Red Sox, so they would only issue them to certain markets.
Okay.
As a test, so they didn't invest a ton of money into making a full set, or I guess getting them out there and just to see how it went. So yeah, these are Pittsburgh Pirates, and I knew there had some Red Sox on the other side. Yeah. So I guess the mark, there's two types of these, right? The one that has the Vermeer. This one is like,
the other.
Yeah, Tony Conigliaro. This is the same one where it's like, like that style. So there's two styles. That one, and there's some general like teams ones, I guess, too, right? Like that's
there is.
Yeah.
So these so they would go for the same two cities, but like they would be the same style of card for both cities, just different players.
There might have been like 33 in that set, maybe for each team.
There is. Yeah, there's. I got them all binded up.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
They're pretty rare.
Johnny Pesky's one of the Pirates. He's a coach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I had the Pesky. I had to check.
These are tough to find in good shape.
Yeah, I see. I was looking up when I was shocked. I bought them on a Whatnot. They were like glued to an album, and they brought like $10 in Whatnot. It was like an estate clean out.
That's a steal.
Look up the Clemente. The Clemente brings pretty crazy money.
The Yaz Vermeer is probably the most desirable one. Red Sox.
Yeah.
One.
Oh wow, and especially graded. Was that a 6?
I was gonna say if you have it graded, that's a good sign that it's a.
It's a 6. You know.
Okay.
Mine are pretty rough because they have like the tape marks and stuff. They were in a scrapbook, so they're not gonna be like that one. But
I think I have 2 complete sets. One of them looks like that with tape on it. The back's peeled off. The other one's decent. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's killer. Yeah. So yeah, and they made those kind of things over the years. Different. That's not the only test set. There was different test issues through the years. So and they're pretty desirable.
That's kind of it was a little almost before their time and stuff. Like now I feel like cards were pretty basic. Like the set was the set, like there was a few like inserts or something like, I don't know, you'd have like rookies or you would have like like leaders or something sometimes in these sets, but they never had like weird insert cards like they do now. Like there's, in one set type of cards, there's like 50 different inserts that you can get.
Yeah.
And but nowadays, that one seems like it was before its time in terms of like just being a kind of a, because like the picture and stuff is completely different. Like it's almost like, it's not like a normal card, but
there's a lot of oddball sets like that too, going back, right? I mean,
they did a lot of them. That's the Yaz thing I just did the other day. I saw a lot of test issues in that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. They're cool.
Yeah, I was going to guess that's probably really good conditioning.
What's up, Harry? How's it going, man?
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I like this.
Yeah. So it's definitely.
It's unfortunate. I guess you said it's just Pittsburgh and Boston for those types.
For that sense, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Nice.
Just 1 year. Didn't ever did them again.
Yeah. So I guess the test didn't work out too well.
It didn't test for off the charts.
Yeah.
All right. So we back to.
Yeah, back to here. So did
Mark, wait, no,
it's
you,
right?
It's
yeah,
you on the you on the turn.
I wasn't really prepared. Let's see. Tough for here. I guess it's not as tough because nobody can steal my player, right? So
right.
This is a player who's definitely a step down from Speaker and Cobb, who had his career slightly shortened through some events, but I'm going to go with Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, he's third on my list.
He was
great hitter, 356 lifetime average. I mean, definitely didn't have the WAR numbers comparing to the other guys, but he might have had more if he played. He only played till 1920 or till 1919 or into 20, right? So, obviously for people who don't know, the Black Sox scandal, he was part of that. Even though it's debatable whether he knew about it, he didn't really report it, I guess, right? But his numbers were pretty good in that World Series.
Yeah, I think his average is like 354, something. It's pretty high, right? He had something crazy.
Yeah,
I think the only other dead ball guy that would even be in consideration is like Ty Cobb's teammate, Sam Crawford.
Yep.
All-time triples leader.
Yeah. I mean, it was Zach Wheat. Did he play into the 20s? I know Zach Wheat was, I don't know when he stopped playing.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But I agree. The top two are after that, it gets there's definitely a big step down.
I mean, if you're talking dead ball in general, you got Cobb, Speaker, and Wagner. I think those are the three.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're not picking in pitchers and stuff too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, like
Matt and Walter, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Good pick. I mean, that was the remaining. That was pretty much like that's what I'm saying. Like I think there's a few ones that were really 1-2 you had there, and then the third one was a bit of a drop off. Not that I mean, you also got I mean, arguably a cheater on your team. It's fine. I mean, I guess Ty Cobb probably was.
No. I mean, yeah, I think Bonds is more of a stain than
I'm just saying. Just want to make sure.
Joe Jackson hit a home run in the deciding game of that World Series where the Reds won that game. I mean, he hit a home run. How can you be throwing the game, hitting a home run?
Well,
I believe.
You probably should hit two.
I could be wrong. I'll look it up.
All right. So let's see. I'm trying to think. So Keith, I'll have my choice here. I'm just trying to figure out where I need to go. All right, I got to go 20s to 40s just so I can get my second player. I feel like because I'm only after that. I'm good. This is tough because I mean there's a drop off from Babe. I'm gonna go with Joe DiMaggio as my as my 20s to 40s. He's not. I mean, he hasn't put up the stats that Babe even Gehrig really and stuff like that. But he's probably one of the most well-known Yankees, right? Behind maybe Gehrig and Ruth. I was surprised at how like he has decent numbers, but he's not like killer numbers. And maybe I'm missing somebody here. Probably am.
There's one player, but there's some of those New York players. They have a bigger aura than their stats their play would. Yeah, there's a couple guys that fall into that, but definitely a great player.
Yeah, there was one other guy that I was in there on too, which maybe that's but we can discuss after too.
Yeah.
I like this game. Is that you mean our little it's not a bad era. I mean, I guess you could do this for football too, but
football, you can do it for pitchers, you can do it for a lot of different topics. And it's cool because like it is a little more strategy than some of the drafts.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in the same category. I'm going Stan Musial.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was pick. Yeah, it's a good pick. I had one more. Well, we can talk about it later. Now that that's filled out, though, I guess it doesn't really matter. But like Mel Ott was on there too. I feel like he was my other potential to those two. But
yeah.
right.
My top three in that era were Ruth, Musial, and I had Ted Williams in that era. But I know he's right in the middle of both, so can't go wrong with either one of them. All right, so looking pretty balanced squads, I think. I mean, Andy's got the strikeout leader, the steroid.
You got the cheater, the biggest cheater of all. No, maybe not the biggest cheater.
All right, let's last segment here.
YouTube Spotlight.
All right, let me get rid of this. So in this segment, we did these a lot in the beginning of the channel. We showcased another channel, and it happens to be someone in the chat tonight. Anyway, this is Harry Humstone's channel.
Oh, all right.
A local guy to me, great picker, does deal in sports a bit. He'll buy general antiques, but this is like a short clip from one of his videos. Actually, it's a blend of two videos. But let me show this.
Gorgeous out, gorgeous day for picking, and I've got two on schedule. Heading up to Wilmington, Delaware. The old souvenir bat, I think you can still get these to this day, but this one's special because it's old, and look at the name on it. Jimmy Fox. Check it out, man. Look at that. You just don't find this stuff. National Football League, Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers and Eagles, 10 cents for the 1933, November 19th. Isn't that a banger? Here's a better shape one. Here's the Giants and Eagles, 1933. Bang, stinking, bang, bang. This.
That's his little catchphrase: bang, bang, or bang, stinking, bang, bang.
Between Mark's Boston accent and your two Philly accent, it's like
he's a Delaware guy, but close enough, probably.
Well, that's how it sounds like Delaware
Still
County.
have that Fox bat? Do you still have that Fox bat?
Yeah, that's why I put that in there, because I put that in there for you, Mark. I don't know if he does. We'll ask him. He's in the chat. But Mark, but Harry, Mark is a big Jimmy Fox collector, so that's why I put that in here. I actually met up with him and bought the Eagles programs that he showed. So
they look familiar.
Yeah. I'm trying to complete that run, and I think I need 2 more from 33. But yeah, Harry, if you still have that Fox bat, we get the.
Well, he does.
Oh, there he is. He does have it. There we go.
All right. I'll hook up somehow.
We're making connections. That's what we're
doing. It's beautiful condition too, right? I mean, it'll get much nicer than that.
I'll find a spot for it.
Yeah. But yeah, great channel. He picks like general antiques, like typewriters and jewelry, yard sales, but I mean, does some great finds. And the other thing I like about his channel, he does like his sales videos. Will be like just driving from a yard sale, talking about what he sold, the prices. I don't know how I couldn't remember the prices. And that takes a skill for sure, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. I don't want you, I mean, especially if I'm in the car, I don't want you anywhere. I want your eyes on the road. This guy, he drives like a lunatic.
Come on now. What do you mean? Only when we're heading to a pick.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta be,
he's got a one-track mind. He's like, it's like frothing at the mouth, basically.
I'm sorry. Well, usually when I'm driving, if you're driving, it's like driving Miss Daisy, right? It's like,
all right.
All right. Let's get back to the scene, the screen here.
All right. So Mark on the flip with his final pick can only be one era now.
Yeah.
But I'd argue that's probably the deepest era, right? Don't you think?
There's quite a few guys. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Widest era, right?
Widest era. Okay.
34 years.
I'm sorry. I was thinking that he had to pick from the 50s. But
I'm gonna go with an active player, Mike Trout.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah, he was on my list. He was my number 3 too, right after Griffey. But there's other guys it goes deep there. But I mean, if he didn't get banged up, I know he's on pace to be like some of the greatest stats ever, right? And
well, that's when you were saying Ken Griffey, when you were picking Griffey, I thought you were going Trout because I know he's had some injuries.
Yeah.
Trout's probably the best like recent player, I think, right? It's got to be in a while. I know there's a couple others out there, but
did you see this? He said he got excited, jumped out of the car, left the car running, and almost hit the house to get out. So yeah, that's the picker mentality, man. When you're there, you're like, the regular rules of the road are somewhat out of the background.
They don't apply to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me put that pick in.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm kind of torn between 2 players here. So I'm 50s and 60s here. I mean, there's one clear choice, I feel like, and I'll probably end up going that route. But there's another one that I like as kind of I'm not going to take him. I'm just going to go. I got to win this one. I feel like I'm in good shape right now. I'm going to go Mickey Mantle. So Mickey Mantle is going to be my wind out, which I think is insane that he's the one of the last picks in the last round. Talk about Babe Ruth. You wouldn't let him out of the second round, out of the first, but
Mickey. I mean, his numbers are like his stats are not equivalent to his name, right? Like, I mean, obviously everyone loves him from the 52 Topps card, and
sure.
I mean, in the heyday of baseball, he was in the biggest city in the world.
Yeah.
Right. But if you compare his stats to Mays or Williams or Musial, they're not comparable. I don't feel. I mean, yeah. I mean,
my other there's a couple players there, and you don't have to pick anybody. So I mean, my wild card was going to be Roberto Clemente, actually. So
yeah, great defensive player,
but
how do we leave? like the home run king up until Bonds off of this list. Unless can I take him he played like 3 years into the 70s, play 74. No, I don't think I can do that.
It's just the way the years fell.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That is kind of, sometimes it matters and when and where you're picking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I would find it hard not to put Mickey on in some form. I agree, but this is the 50s, 60s is probably one of the deepest spots, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You can go. I mean, Frank Robinson even too, like he was in there.
If you went 60s through 80s, Yaz would be number 3 war-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're going to fit what Yaz in there, but I know the time windows are a little tougher. Probably the perfect way to do this is by decade, but then that's like a very long draft, 12 rounds.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. You got to make sure that, like if you got somebody starting in 1979 or something, I guess you can do that, but
it gets tricky. Yeah.
All right, Keith. All right. So you're finishing in the worst, the worst era. I feel like, this is a tough one. I mean, I guess I think I know where you're going to go with this.
Well, we talked a little bit about this early on, I think, but I'm going to go, and there maybe the numbers don't fit here, but I'm going to go with Pete Rose.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I think he played in the early 70s. Most of his time was in the outfield in the early 70s. Later on, moved to the infield more. I think early in his career, he was in the infield more.
Maybe he moved to third base.
Yeah. So at least I had that like 5-6 year span where he's primarily an outfielder, even though his, like you had said, I think it was not over 60% in one position.
Yeah.
Was it 60 or 40%? I forget, but
I picked my guys. It was 60, but
okay.
He played left field, right field, third base, second base, and first base.
Yeah. Jack of all trades.
He's just a good player.
Yeah. So
Charlie Hustle.
Had to get the all-time hit leader in there, and obviously a little Philly. Had to get at least one Philly on the list. I think might be the only Philly on there. I'm sure. Yeah,
I went heavy Yankees.
Although there are some Philly A's. We got Cobb and Speaker late in their career. Yeah. My dad has a baseball, I think from the 28 World Series. It's like a signed ball, but Cobb, Speaker were on that ball. So it was like I think they were on that same team, right? 28 or 29.
At the end,
yeah. It was a pretty packed squad. So, all right. So that's the list. Pretty, I don't know. It's going to be a tough vote for anyone voting, right? That's a pretty even list, I think.
Yeah. I like Mark's a lot. The first three eras, I feel like that's a hard stack. That's pretty stacked lineup. I mean, obviously that 70s and 80s kind of, or 70s through the current is not the picks just aren't there, but
I mean,
Who,
Dave Winfield, Andre Dawson. I mean,
Hawk.
There's
Stargell maybe in that round, in that 70s spot too. But yeah, they were not really. It's not deep in a lot of the other spots. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, I think like you were saying, or we were talking about earlier, some of the best players are not. I mean, I think nowadays a lot of the best players are in the outfield. Just maybe not all of them, but like they certainly usually the best athletes and stuff are there. So,
and I think maybe a lot of times in the 70s, 80s, I think they put a lot more emphasis on defense too, like Gary Maddox, and like you wanted a guy who could really cover ground out there. You get your offense from third base and first base.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of it too.
Corner outfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what people think on the vote. I do think I probably have the names, like name wise, like recognition, but hopefully that people are looking at a very scratching the surface and not looking into individual stats. Because you're right, probably won't win that round.
Every name on there, well-known name. It's not like
I don't think you have the names, Andy. I think we all have equal.
Well, I'm just saying, like names. Mickey Mantle. I mean, like I'm just saying, that stats wise is not maybe match.
Oh, you're saying, I gotcha. Like there's no names that people are going to be like, who's that? Unless you're like, I don't know, a 10-year-old girl But I don't know. I don't know how they would know all those names. But we do have a vote for Andy. I'm sort of shocked at this.
That's what we
one.
like to see. That's what we like to see. Thank you, Rushmore.
Andy, do you have one more sales of the week, right? The second round of that. Okay.
Yep.
Let me get back to this.
Sale of the week.
Sort of cardish.
Are you doing one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
I'll go first. I'm sharing it now. These are sort of cards, but they're like pen emblem patches, 1979. We get the.
That's a lot of Tom Seaver.
Yeah, 24, 1978, 79 pen emblem baseball player patches.
Yeah, you really have to like Tom Seaver.
Yeah, I assume it's a reseller who bought them. I didn't feel like selling them individually. It'd take me like 10 years. Do you collect these at all? The Red Sox in this set?
I have the Red Sox in that set. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Rose is one of the only guys that comes in two colors. If I'm not
I have
mistaken.
a similar pile like this of Rose in the warehouse. I
don't know if I saw that at your place or if I just remember this from back then. When was this? Was from like what, 80s or 90s, right? Or it must be early 80s. Right?
78, 79.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I do remember these from back in the day for some reason, I feel like. And then maybe I probably saw them at your place all over the place too.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know these things. It's like and the fact that there are 24 of them, it's like, what the
Yeah, I guess you just do the math in your head, what they might bring individually.
Yeah. I may just do an easy math number guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
Think about too much of it. I don't know. Mark, you have any? I mean, you probably have a better idea if you bought any of the Sox ones, right?
I know what probably individually what they cost, but I mean, if you're going to buy a lot, you're going to get it cheaper.
Yeah.
24 of them.
Yep, 24 of them.
$49.99.
Oh, really? Okay. I was like, okay.
I mean, some of these they only go for $5 or $6 a piece. These.
Okay. That's good, Mark. I appreciate you being here because I would have probably made a complete fool of myself.
I probably still will, Eddie.
60. Okay. I was thinking that they would go for like $10 a piece or something, but and maybe they would singly, I guess, but
certain singles maybe.
Okay. So let's see, 24 of them, you're selling them for $5 a piece. Okay, I'm going to go $99.99. Just a nice not round number, but that would be my guess.
Okay.
Dan's at 60.
Let's let Andy know how he did.
Oh boy.
He'll go, 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 yeah, go.
Had to work that one in.
Fitting with Tom. Oh, okay.
You're pretty close, but you missed it there a little bit.
That's not what I expected.
My initial guess is going to be, I was going to say 240. I was going to say, but I get, okay.
Yeah, you would have lost it either way.
All right. Let's see. This is an interesting.
I wonder if sometimes people put them on like vintage hats too. Maybe they're going to use them and repurpose them. I don't know.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ever see this before?
6 of the most infamous crooks ever captured by America's favorite detective, Dick Tracy. Now, is it a book? What is it?
Yeah, a book that had like I don't know. They were like kind of. It's a little hard to see, but you can see like the little poster type of things. Yeah, they're almost little posters of each one of these of the criminals.
What is that guy with his face dripping off? Is that?
That's Professor Face Dripper, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I forgot who Dick Tracy fought or whatever. I don't know some of the names.
Yeah, I don't know much about Dick Tracy, to be honest.
I saw the show with who's the guy that played him? Probably from the early 90s or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, exactly. I do.
Ted Beatty, right? Isn't that?
I think it is Beatty, but I don't know his first name. Ted? Did you say Ned?
No, that's Warren. There we go.
Warren. Yeah.
Warren Beatty. Jeez. I think he played him, and I think there was a couple in there, but I didn't necessarily recognize them.
Okay.
Warren,
That's probably Madonna on the right.
Yeah, not quite.
All right. I guess gotta guess, right?
Yeah, you gotta guess.
Can't be much here. Can't be much. I'm gonna go $28. $28.
I was gonna go $29.99.
There we go. Yeah, we're in the same ballpark.
All right. Let's see here.
Here we go.
Oh! Great job.
Well, I made it.
That's my favorite one for some stupid reason. I don't know why. Nope.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
Dang.
Yeah. So
Not
keep
bad.
your eyes open for that.
What year is it? Is that like Dick Tracy from like the 50s or something? Or the 40s?
Yeah. I think so. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to find the original. Yeah, it was definitely older. I don't know if it was. I mean, it certainly wasn't from the 80s or 90s. It was later than that.
I'm looking at your title. Paper the Mole. Is the mole like one of the bad guys in there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first guy was I don't know. I think I probably copied this from somebody.
Wasn't your nickname?
Chester
the
Gold,
Mole?
Boise Cascade. I think it was Boise Cascade was somebody in Paper the Mole.
Okay. That was your nickname in high school, the Mole.
Yeah, not quite. There you go.
Yeah. All right. That was a strong sale.
Yeah, had a non-Pennants this week, so I had to throw you a little.
I love shipping books too. I don't know if you shipped at media rate, but just
So that was actually wider. It was bigger than a normal thing. It was like a wider and taller. So
okay. So not as easy.
no, but still not hard.
Yeah. Cool.
All
right. Well, yeah, that was a fun show. I'll put the
Too damn off today.
I think we did a lot of the honorary mentions already, right? There aren't, I guess, modern wise, you could go a little Ichiro Suzuki in there.
I see. Yeah, Ronald Acuna, I think, for like actually active and playing too, is probably one of the best players out there. Manny Ramirez, I had from that era. There's another guy. The only from the 70s and 80s, I had Darryl Strawberry on the list too. Like, I mean, I don't even think he was that great, but I just don't think there's a ton of huge stat guys in there.
I think out of all the guys they had the list, we either brought them up or they're on the board already. So
yeah. For me, I only did like 3 guys. I did a little honorary mentions because you didn't need more than 3 typically, right? So
my only concern is I had a few more on each because I wasn't sure how we were going to do. Like you said, Ted Williams. If he went, if you put, I probably wrongfully actually, I had him in the 20s and 40s, but you could certainly go either way.
Yeah, I had him there too, but yeah, he's like he goes both.
His rookie year was 39. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So he straddles that time period. So it was perfect for either one.
But yeah, it makes more sense to put him in the latter.
Yeah.
Well, probably 30. Yeah. I mean, because that's 20s through all the way through 49 too.
It'd be like 21 to 49. Yeah.
I think the biggest omission is Hank Aaron, but we couldn't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I probably should put him in that Pete Rose spot. I mean, he had a couple years in the 70s. Give me
Rose is
No, I like Rose. All right. So that's a good, cool draft. Well, appreciate you hanging out, Mark. Let me get rid of this. And
thanks for having me on here. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's been fun. And guys, check out Mark's channel. I know he has a channel. You can sub to him. I know he doesn't have content up there yet, but it sounds like that's the plan to put some stuff over there.
Yeah, as soon as you do, let us know, and we'll definitely we'll make sure to put it up on there.
Yeah, for sure. So. Absolutely. Cool. And you, Mark, if you want to talk, I know you were on the other channel today, for collectors.
Yep.
And then you were on I watched the other channel you were on with
Dan's Vintage Card PC.
That's right.
He usually he picks one player and he gets one of us guys that he finds on Twitter that collects just one guy.
Okay.
I've done Tony Conigliaro, Joe Cronin, and I did Jimmy Fox.
That's cool.
And he did a set one day. 1971 Tops. We did a show on that. So
sweet.
He kind of isolates it and just specializes in one thing.
So that's good. I know you. I know you're picking your football one player, but who would you pick for baseball, Keith? Is there one person that you would have picked? Kind of.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, Andy. As far as to collect, or
yeah, in terms of like like you're doing with Bednarik. Is there a baseball player that you would do, or basketball, or something else?
I mean, probably for me, it doesn't have to be a Philly guy. I would, Cobb. I would say Cobb, but Cobb cards are like, I had some Cobb cards when I was young, but they're crazy. Yeah.
Not really. Because I was thinking that would be kind of cool to go back. Like, I'm trying to think. There are a lot of cards that are being like reproduced in recent sets now that are like, they're 19 or 2023, but they're a card, or not a card, like a player from the 40s or 50s or 60s or even 80s.
They top sticks them in like the heritage sets or archives, but you can even find flagship. They'll stick a guy in there.
Yeah,
An old time.
Some of the cool stuff I saw. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't particularly care for that, but I get it. If kids are opening packs, they get a little history that way. They can,
for sure. Yeah.
There was a couple cards that I saw that were kind of cool. Like if I was picking somebody, like I didn't love a ton of Tigers growing up. I mean, I guess I was probably a Lance Parrish, Cecil Fielder, maybe Alan Trammell, those guys. But like my dad kind of always brought up like Al Kaline and Greenberg, and I have that jersey back there. I don't know if you can see it, probably not. That's Denny McLain.
Yep.
So I kind of like those kind of maybe 70s before my time, but like those would be the kind of players that'd be kind of fun to collect, I think.
Your dad probably loved the 68 Tigers, right? That was a good team.
Yeah. He was when he grew up in in Detroit, and I'm sure I don't know how many stories of people growing up, and my dad was born in 45, but growing up, like his mother, my grandmother, threw away all of his cards, and he's like, yeah, of course I had all these Mickey Mantles and all this stuff. I'm like, I can't. I mean, and that's probably why they're so expensive now, that somebody parents threw them out.
My Trammell story is I was in Cooperstown checking into my hotel, and the guy in front of me, I said, this guy looked kind of familiar, and he turned around. It was Alan Trammell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. By all, I mean, there's certainly some players. I mean, Ty Cobb's, I think, notorious for being a complete a-hole. Yeah. But like, I think Trammell, I think, is widely considered kind of a fan favorite. Him and Lou Whitaker, really kind of those guys.
Whitaker belongs in the Hall.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last time the Tigers won. I guess it was in '84, and that was that was kind of I guess that was the year I was 8, I guess, at that point. So I mean, that's kind of when I grew up, and so that had Parrish, and I'm trying to think, Doug Evans maybe at first base, Jack Morris, all those guys. So.
They started like 35-5, didn't they? Something like that. It was crazy.
They were, and I think they were good in &83. I think it was a KC or somebody that maybe was better than them. But yeah, they kind of they hit their stride in '84, and they kind of haven't. They came back and back when they had. I was looking at, I don't know how it came up, but I was looking at the decades, and pitching kind of came in too, and I was like, damn, the Tigers had just incredible pitchers. I mean, they had. Of the decade lists, I mean, they had Verlander, they had Scherzer, they had a couple other guys too. I can't remember, but like they were just had monsters then.
Rick
couldn't win it.
Good.
But
cool. Yeah, but that'd be right. That'd be fun to go back for me. And after your earlier question, maybe Ashburn. I like the Bowman sets. I like the color of those sets. Ashburn, or like I was a huge fan of the '93 Phillies, so I don't really like that era cards at all.
Yeah.
But so I'll probably go back to Ashburn, Ennis. My dad's favorite growing up was Kurt Simmons. So, or even go back to collect some A's, the tobacco era A's.
Yeah,
were probably the most successful franchise in Philly.
You weren't a huge Schmidt fan? I can't remember if you were growing up.
Oh, I was, for sure. Yeah. But when I was I was very young I was 4 in 1980. So. He was out. He got finished in '87. So, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, Well, thanks again, Mark. Appreciate it. And
Yeah.
we're going to be, we'll be back next week, 8:00. We haven't decided what we're doing yet, but we'll do something fun, I'm sure. Something probably non-sports.
Yeah.
That'll beat Andy in.
Yeah. We'll see. You've had a little comeback, so we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see how this one goes.
You could bring back the acronym next week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you've been slack on the
I
acronym.
might need to do that.
Yeah.
We did the 80s, or we did that decades thing and something else. So I probably need to reset my basis and get back in this. Go back to what made me I was up by like five in a row on you or something.
Yeah. I know what happened to you. It's good.
Right.
I like it.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you.
Peace.
Oh.